I built a whole app with the most powerful Claude ever made. Then they banned it where I live. And here's the part that should bother me way more than it does. I genuinely couldn't tell the difference. The model was Fable, the Mythos tier, a full step above Opus, the strongest thing Anthropic had ever shipped. And I got my hands on it right before they pulled it and the whole EU lost access. So I actually used it. Real work, I designed an app, reviewed it, built the entire front end in Flutter with the most powerful model on the planet. And the app that came out the other end, the same app I would have built with Opus. Same screens, same quality, the exact thing I would have shipped with the model I already had. So here's how I think about it now. The model is the engine. A more powerful model is a bigger engine. And that sounds great until you realize a bigger engine only helps if you're actually racing. On the roads I drive every day, with the speed limits I actually have, I can't use most of it. So all that extra power just means more maintenance, more expensive parts, and a lot more noise annoying the neighbors. The power is real, I just have nowhere to put it. Because what caps how fast I move was never the engine, it's everything around it. It's the scaffold I've built over months and all the contacts and tools and rules I've wired around the model. And it's the handoff between us, how clearly I can hand off what's in my head so the model actually gets it. That's the actual limit. So the real question was never how smart the model got, it's whether the thing it got smarter at even touches my work. And mostly it doesn't. The new power lands in the genuinely hard stuff, so deep security, the edge cases most people never go near. And that's just not what I do. I build admin dashboards, internal platforms, the systems a company actually runs on. I had the strongest security model on the planet pointed straight at my normal development days. So of course nothing changed, it makes sense. But here's the tell though. When they pulled Fable, I didn't scramble. No workaround, no VPN, no gray market access. I just kept building with the model I already had, my lovely Opus 4.8. And that calm, that's the whole argument, because you don't shrug at losing something that was actually affecting your work in a meaningful way. Fable is built to shine on the really hard problems, deep security work most people never touch in a normal day. And that's real power, it just had nothing to push on in my work because the model stopped being a bottleneck some time ago. But a lot of people felt that ban like it was a catastrophe because they've tied what they can build to which model they can load. And once you do that, every model you lose feels like losing a limb. But honestly, the model you can't use is almost never the thing holding you back. And the numbers keep climbing. The horsepower keeps going up on the spec sheet. And it keeps mattering less and less for the kind of stuff I build. Because a good chunk of that is there to keep the valuations up and the word AI loud. It's marketing as much as it's progress. I see this clearest with the private self-hosted AI I set up for clients because there the question is live every single time. How powerful does this model actually need to be? And I never answer that in the abstract, ever. It always comes back to the exact job. What's this thing for? What does it actually have to do? And that's really all that matters. The job tells you how much engine you need. Because the real work, it's everything around the model. The context it gets, the tools it can reach, the data it can pull, the rules for how it behaves. A smaller model sitting inside all of that beats a frontier model bolted onto nothing. The job picks the tool. Before we continue, if you're finding this interesting, give the video a like. It helps others see it and it helps the channel grow. But if it's not the model, then what is it? It's the harness, the layer I built around it. And there was one moment in this build where that just became impossible to ignore. The screens Fable generated looked perfect on their own. Then I loaded in a real week of my own data and one of the cards just burst. Text overflowing straight off the edge. And the model didn't catch it. No model would really, because it's not a thinking problem. It's a UI problem, a does this survive real data problem. What caught it was a tool I built, a portal that pushes real data into the generated screens so I can see what breaks before I push it, so I can test its limits. And that's the pattern, over and over. The jumps in my output were never fully defined by a smarter model. They came from the layer I built around it. And really, it comes down to two moves. The first is widening what the AI is allowed to safely touch and do, so it carries more of the work without me hovering over every step. The second is sharpening the handoff, so getting what's in my head into a shape the model can actually use. And that second one, that's where almost all my bad outputs came from. Not the model being dumb, but me handing a blurry version of what I wanted, just not detailed enough. So the engine was never my ceiling, the handoff was. So when they pulled the most powerful model I've ever used, my apps didn't care. And honestly, neither did I. We don't need better models. We need to pick the right tool for the right job and then get really good at everything around it. And everything around the model, the actual stack I build on, I broke that down in my Claude Code and Obsidian episode right here. That's the real lever. Subscribe, this is After Work.